So what I want to talk to you guys about tonight is big money web pages and how many of them do you have. This lesson I actually created back in 2014, right after the launch of my Easy Passive Sales product. I started getting lots of emails back from people that had bought that program, and each one of them, they were asking about how fast they should expect results and how many products they should have for sale and that kind of thing. And in a lot of them, in questioning, answering their questions and sending them questions back and forth, I found out over 90% of the people had absolutely nothing for sale online. They weren't promoting anything, didn't have anything for sale online. So that's when I came up with this presentation to do this. And like I said, I put it on the back burner because for a long while there, I was getting quite a few questions that I was answering one on one with that product release. So, like I said, tonight's topic is going to be about big money web pages and how many of them do you have. Now, first off, I wanted to define what a big money web page is. And no, it's not a sales page to a high ticket product that you're trying to sell online. This presentation is not about generating sales from big ticket products, although that's another business model strategy you could use. We're going to talk about tonight the absolute basics of getting started online and what you should have in order to even have any chance of getting a revenue of sales online. So rather, we're going to talk about having a page for anything for sale online that you're actually making sales from. Now, you may have pages for products up on sale online that's not making any sales, and it could be, there's problems with the sales page, or maybe the product's outdated, or maybe it's just not a very good topic, or whatever it might be. It might be in a niche that, there's not a lot of followers in, whatever it might be. But what we're going to talk about tonight is pages for products that actually sell. Ones that if you do promote them, you will actually make sales from them. And, there's a wide range of pages like that. Granted, there are pages that just don't convert at all, and if you have one of those, then you really need to work on the copy for the page to get it to convert better. But for the most part, any page you have online is for a decent product to start with, and it's got a decent sales page. If you drive the right kind of traffic to the page, it's going to make sales. If you make sales from that page, well, then you've got an idea of what it takes to get more sales to that from that page. So the idea is once you figure out the kind of traffic you need to be sending, you need to just determine how much of that traffic you need to send to that page. If you do that on a consistent basis, well, then you're going to start seeing consistent sales from the traffic that you send to that sales page. So here's the real key to success online. You have to have something to sell online. It's just plain and simple. Like I was telling you in the very beginning, when I was answering those questions that I was getting through the emails to the Easy Passive Sales product that I released, like I said, 90% of the people had absolutely nothing for sale online. That was their very first venture at trying to sell anything online. And a lot of them said they had been in the internet marketing or online marketing, some sort of niche, selling something online for a year or more and had absolutely nothing for sale online. So the plain and simple fact is you have to have something for sale online to start with. Otherwise, there's just no chance of making any sales at all if you don't have a page that's selling something. Now, the next thing is the more things that you have for sale, the better your odds are of making sales on a daily basis. It's just a leveraging of, the real estate you have out on the internet. The more you have out for sale, the more chances you have of people either naturally finding them or your subscribers and followers finding them through, your blog or your Facebook or whatever that you link to, finding those pages and actually making purchases from you. I've told this story before, but initially when I first started creating products, I was doing short reports, and for about a year and a half, I worked really hard at it and created nearly 150 of them. During that time frame from 2007 to 2009, I believe it was, is when I did all that. I had, like I said, 150 different sales pages online for various little short reports that sold for anywhere from $7 to $10 is about the average. So, I had lots of opportunities out there on the internet that people could find those pages. And at the time, during that time frame, is when you could do article marketing and really get good results from article marketing. So and at the same time I was doing article marketing, I would create an article for each one of the little niche reports that I do and put it up on several of the little article directories. And I had a really good chance, getting traffic to this sales pages. So I was seeing consistent sales for a long period of time. Up until the time, when Google did its big change and article directories didn't rank as well anymore and the traffic started to die down. And of course, I got burnt out on writing short reports. So I quit writing so many of them and went into other product creation. But the key was the more pages that I had online, the more opportunities I had or more chances that I had of making a daily sale. And in some cases, I made multiple daily sales. If it was a good niche report that was in a hot topic, I'd make several sales a day from that one little report. And I had several of them that did perform really well, and then I had some that just didn't do well at all. They might get a sale every couple months or so. Not every one of them were, home runs, but I had several that did really well. So to start out, and this is what I told everybody when I was answering those emails, the very absolute minimum that you should have when you're starting out online is you need to have at least three things for sale online. You need to have two low ticket items, and these are items that are priced from $1 to $7 on average. Can go up a little bit from that depending on what it is you're actually selling. If you're selling a piece of software, certainly you can get a little bit more for that. If you're selling some sort of a training with combined software or a plug-in, obviously you can get a little bit more for that. Then you need to have some sort of mid-ticket item, just one mid-ticket item. This is a very basic sales funnel that you can create, and it doesn't take much to have three things for sale like this online and test them out, send traffic to them, determine which ones are going to sell, and then make those three the ones that you concentrate on. Most everybody belongs to some sort of PLR membership site, or you have access to resale rights that you get through emails or whatever, other products that you purchase as bonuses. You get resale rights to something, so it's not hard for you to find three different items that you could put up for sale online. Send a little bit of traffic to them, see if you can make some sales, and once you've determined you have three that are going to make sales, add those into the very basics beginning of your sales funnel. Now, the next step after you have those three is to have a big ticket item. Now, like I said, this training is not about having a big ticket item, but at some point in time, after you've determined that you have three pages up online for products that will sell if you drive the right amount of traffic to them, the right kind of traffic to them, eventually at some point you do want to have a big ticket item in your sales funnel. And I'm talking about an item that sells for $100 or more. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be your own product. It could be a product that you're marketing as an affiliate, but the goal is you want to be able to collect $100 from each sale. So if it's your own product, that's really easy to do. You can price it at whatever you need to price it at to be able to get that $100. If it's an affiliate product, you need to, pay attention to what your commissions are and look for a product that after with the commissions you're going to get on it that you're going to come out with $100 on the sale. Now, depending on what niche you're in, it may be a little tougher to find a big ticket item that's an affiliate product that you can actually sell that will convert. And the problem with doing it as an affiliate, you run the risk of at some point in time the vendor may decide to quit selling the product or may change it up to where it's something else that doesn't convert as well. So why it's better if you can have your own product, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. I know creating a big ticket item, involves quite a bit of work, and it really takes a lot to create a product that people deem worthy of being worth more than $100. So, I don't recommend people start out looking to add their own big ticket item into their sales funnel other than maybe looking for an affiliate product to start out with. Eventually you do want to have your own, but you need to have the first initial products first and then work towards getting your own big ticket item later. And like I said, if it can be your own product, well then for sure that as long as you have your web hosting account, the product's always going to be for sale. So here's the very basic process of getting started with these three items that you have found that if you drive some traffic to it, that they will sell. You got to have an autoresponder account. That's pretty much the basics of any niche that you're going to market to online. Just about all niches, you have to have an autoresponder account. You need to set up a list with a good 7 to 30 days worth of emails. You need to have a single squeeze page to start with. You can have, a couple or three, but you don't need to concentrate on having a whole lot of different squeeze pages. Just, one that's converting at 30 to 40% when you send traffic to it is good enough. That's good enough to start with. And then, of course, you need to set up your sales pages for the products that you want to sell. You make sure, have those 3 pages up for sale. And then, obviously, the last step is to drive traffic to those squeeze pages that you have to get people into your autoresponder list so that you can start marketing those 3 products that you have for sale. So here's a 14-day freebie email sequence that you can use to start selling those 3 products that you have found. Obviously, the first 2 messages you send out, one's going to be day 0, the next one will be day 1. Should be just the delivery of the gift, making sure that the person that opted into your list actually got access to the gift that you were going to send them. Now, we're not going to talk about the quality of the gifts tonight. We've talked about that before, but you need to have a good gift that really commands attention, that the person feels like you're going over and above what you said you would with the gift you're giving them, so that they will look for your next email to see what else you might have to offer to them, or the next information you might have. So you really want to make your free gift or lead magnet, you might call it, something that really wows them and grabs their attention, that shows them that you really care about giving them some good content or something worthwhile for their time up front. The next 3 to 5 emails are considered your know, like, and trust emails, which are pretty much content. Now, the content can be a very different thing depending on what niche you're in, but these first 3 to 5 emails, message number 3 to 5, should contain information about you and how you're involved in whatever niche it is that you're in. This is a great chance to start getting people to try to come to your blog and your Facebook groups and places like that, get to know you a little bit better. But it's these first few messages, these first 5 days worth of messages, it's what really sets the tone on if people are going to start paying attention to you or not. So you don't want to start immediately trying to sell something to them right off the bat, going into the hard sell mode. The use of PS links for these first 3 to 5 messages, 3 through 5, I can't even say it. The messages 3 through 5 is okay. With a PS link, you're just recommending something. You're not really hard selling anything. So, it's okay to do that with those, and it just kind of directs people over. And this could be, and probably should be, the links to one of those 3 products that you have up for sale online. With messages 6 and 7 is where you actually go into sales mode, and you don't really want to go into hard sales mode, because remember, you're still just trying to convince somebody to make a purchase. This is a person that's on your list that didn't buy anything from you initially. Whether you had an OTO offer on your initial opt-in or not, this is the person that's on your free list that didn't buy anything from you. So your first goal is to try to qualify them as somebody that's going to pay attention to you and is going to spend money by trying to sell them your low ticket offer. And you really, like I said, you're really just trying to convince them that the product is worth checking out, and that they, give them some benefits of it, and just try to get them over to the sales page. And hopefully you've got a good converting sales page that if you send X amount of traffic to it, it's going to get X amount of conversions with it. Message number 7 is just another follow-up email to number 6, where you're just telling them a little bit more about the offer that you told them about the day before. Again, you could turn on a little bit more of a sales pitch in message number 7, but you still don't want to go into a hard sell mode, even with this message. And then with messages 8 through 10, you're back to sending content to know, like, and trust. And again, the content could be just about anything. It could be, posts that you have on your blog. It could be other places out on the internet that has more information about the niche that you're in. But again, it's best if you can somehow direct people to your own properties online. Try to get them out into your playground to see that you're a real person so that you'll build that know, like, and trust a lot faster. And again, you can use the PS links in these emails as well. Message number 11, you go back into sales mode again, trying to sell your second low ticket item. And again, at this point, you're not really trying to pour on the sales pitch, but you could be a little stronger with it in this one than you were with message number 6. You could actually make a more of a sales pitch email at this point. If they're to this point of opening your emails down to number 6, they are somebody's paying attention to you. And at this point, you could turn on a little bit more of a sales pitch, not a really hard sales pitch, because again, remember, you're still just trying to convince them to become a qualified buyer. Message number 12, you do the same as you did with message number 7. Just give them more info on the low ticket item that you told them about the day before. A good email to follow up with messages number 7 and 12 are questions answered emails. Those seem to work the best for me when I send those out. If I send out a sales email one day and then follow up the very next day with questions answered, then that seems to convince a lot of people to check it out again, or for the very first time if they see that some of their questions have been answered, or it gets them in the mind that if they go check out the page and see the product and they do have questions, that by you sending an email answering questions, they know that they can get a response from you if they did have questions themselves. So question emails for messages number 7 and 12 really do seem to do well, and those are really easy to create. You can just go through your sales page and create a list of questions, and you may actually have questions that some of your subscribers have sent in to you asking questions, in which case, you have already a pre-made set of questions that you could use for those messages. And then with messages 13 through 15, you're back to the know, like, and trust content emails again using the PS links. Now this is a typical 14-day freebie email sequence. At the end of this 14 days, if they still haven't made a purchase, then it's more than likely they're not ever going to. They may click links. So you may send emails out to them, broadcast emails out past this 14-day period. They may click links and they may eventually buy something down the road, but they are pretty much, after 14 days of trying to build a relationship with them and sending them to a low ticket offer, if they haven't made a purchase at this point, it's going to be extremely unlikely that they will. Again, it may be that they still will open emails and click links, which is a good thing, because you might get to the point where you might decide to sell solo ads at some point or sell traffic at some point, which means you'd have a list of people that are willing to click links. But at this point, they haven't qualified themselves as somebody that's willing to make a purchase, even if it's a low ticket item. So after day number 14, you can stop the everyday emails and just send them occasional broadcast emails after this, and hope that you can get them to make either an affiliate purchase through your referral link, or when you release new products, maybe they'll purchase one of those in the future. Now, the important thing to remember when you have this 14-day freebie email campaign set up is if they do make a purchase of one of your first 3 items, and of course you're just really marketing the first 2 in that 14-day sequence, if they make a purchase of either one of them, to use your autoresponder settings to move them over to a different list so that you aren't trying to sell them another low ticket item. Once they have purchased one low ticket item, you need to move them over to another autoresponder list that has a different set of messages set up in it that sells them either more of your products that are priced at about the same range or priced just a little bit higher. It's extremely important that you do this because you don't want people to keep constantly getting, once they've proven that if they're going to make a purchase from you, to keep constantly getting offers for low ticket items, because you actually train your list on the amount of money they'll spend by the amount of emails you send about the different types of products. So you don't want your paying customers to stay on a list that all you ever send out is low ticket item products to, because that's what they'll expect to get from you. When they get an email from you later that has, a bigger ticket price on it, they're not going to pay attention to it at all because they're used to the price range that you've set with the list that they're on. Now, once you have them on this other list, you're basically repeating the same process that you did with the 14-day freebie email campaign, except it's a shorter time span. With the next level of moving them over to a buyer's list, you really just want to have like a 7 to 10 days max autoresponder campaign set up there. And again, the very first few emails are again trying to get, build the know, like, and trust and get the person to actually follow you and open your emails. Really, at this point, once you move them over to the different buyers list, at this point, all you're really wanting to do is just to keep their attention and get them to keep opening your emails, because after the 7 to 10 days, you want to start sending them broadcasts out about the different things that you're either doing online or selling online. And you're hoping, that by this time that, they really are following you and they're going to click the links and pay attention to what it is that you're trying to show them online or trying to sell them. So you don't really want to send them into another daily email sequence like you did with the first 14 days that they were on the freebie list. And again, with both of these campaigns, what you're trying to get is subscribers to come to your blog or your Facebook group or your fan page or forums or wherever else it is that you hang out on the internet, where they can see that you participate online, so that they can see that you're a real person. If they can see that you're a real person and that they have a chance of, getting to know you, you're more likely to purchase from you. Now, we talked about this in a lesson a couple weeks back. I think may have even been last week. I can't remember for sure when we did talk about this. It doesn't necessarily matter if they really like you or not. As long as they know that you're a real person, you stand a lot better chance of making a sale with them. I made a purchase just yesterday from a person that I really don't care anything at all about. But because I know the person, I know he's responsible, and I know that he will answer questions if I had any, I was willing to make a purchase of one of his products. But I don't particularly care for the person at all. I just wanted the product that he was selling. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how to soft sell the upsell. And this is another place where people that are new online to building their sales funnel make big mistakes. They make a sale to somebody online, they send them directly to a download page that has just the download links on it, and if they even have any kind of support information, it's surprising. Most of them don't even have that. But that's the prime real estate you have right there to soft sell any of your other products that you have for sale online. As you're adding new products online, you need to go back to your thank you and download pages that you have and add links back to those pages to the new products that you have for sale. Now, you don't want to, fill up the thank you and download pages, with, 50, 100 links, but, having 5 to 10 links on them is not out of the ordinary. And actually, it gives people, a chance to check out some of the other offers, because at this point, especially on download pages for product purchases, they are still in the buying mood. And if you're recommending products that are in the same niche and in the same price range, or something that has a really good bargain with it, you stand a really good chance at making a sale at that point once they go to the actual download page. So don't forget to add these links to your thank you and download pages. Even if it's just a thank you page for somebody opting in, that is your first opportunity to do a soft sell with them, to get them to go over to the pages that you have something for sale. Now, a lot of people are getting tired of seeing the one-time offers on the first time opting into somebody's list. They don't seem to be performing as good as they used to. So if you wanted to cut out the one-time offer, it would be extremely important that you had links on your thank you and download pages for the gift that you're giving them, because that would be your first opportunity to introduce them to the products that you're selling. Again, it's up in the air now whether it's going to continue to work as well as it did in the past, and we're starting to see a decline in it. One-time offers are not doing as well as they used to with list building, but they still do convert fairly well. It's just the conversion rates are way down from what they used to be. So here's an example of a really highly effective set of links that you could put on your thank you and download pages. And these actually give a little bit of intrigue and get people to want to click the links just to see what's behind each one of the buttons that they would be clicking. I got this set of images from another marketer. I went to his download pages and he had this set on there, and I started using these and they work like gangbusters. If you're tracking your traffic and where they click, you'll see people that go to your thank you and download pages will click a minimum of 3 to 4 of these links before they quit. And some people will click every single one of them. But it was amazing to me how well this works. So I started incorporating this on most of my new download pages now. I've got this same setup working on it now. But it's really effective because it offers a little bit of intrigue and mystery because they want to see what's behind each one of those buttons. And like I said, if it's actually a download page for a sale that you've made, the person is still in the buying mood. And if it's a offer that's related and it's priced about the same as what they just purchased from you, you have a really good chance of making another sale from a system set up like this. Now, like I said, each one of these buttons links to another offer, and it's best if the offer is in and around the same price range. And another thing to keep in mind, maybe you don't have 9 different products for sale that are yours right now. What you can do is link to affiliate offers that are, in the same niche and priced about the same range of what you just sold the person. You can, do some searching on Warriors Plus and JVZoo and ClickBank and find products that are priced around the same thing they just purchased and make, use affiliate links if you don't have, 7 or 9 offers online yet. Like I said, this works really well. I've been playing around with this for the past month. I've seen this on another marketer's page, and it made me curious enough to click the links. So I started trying it out myself on a few of my own sales pages and doing some tracking. I've seen where this really does work. Okay, so the truth of the matter is you have to have something for sale online. You have no chance of selling something online if you don't have something for sale. In one of my autoresponder sequences, I send everybody a link to a page where it has Sean Mize talking about the duh yeah moment. And like I said, I experienced this when I first started getting the replies back from the Easy Passive Sales, talking to people, finding out that they'd been trying to market online for a year or more and still didn't have anything for sale online. So if you don't have anything for sale, you have no chance at making a sale. I mean, it's just plain and simple. You have to have something for sale online, even if it's not your own product. You have to be marketing something or you have no chance at it. The more avenues you have out there, the more chances you have for people to find the products that you're selling or promoting. It increases the odds of making those sales. And you can look at it like this. Each one of these pages that you put up online, each one of these big money pages increases your chance for a sale by another 100% every time you add a new page. Like I told you, when I was doing the short reports, I had nearly 150 pages online for sale at that one point during that first 2 years. And it was consistent. I was getting sales from 10 or 15 of them on a regular basis. Occasional ones would make, a sale every 2 or 3 months. But had I not have had those pages online that were making those sales every 2 or 3 months, well, that would have been sales that I'd missed. Even though they weren't great performers, they did sell something once in a while, and that was another chance that I had for somebody to actually make a purchase. So it's just extremely important that you concentrate on getting some pages up online that are going to sell something and try to test them and make sure they will make sales by sending the right kind of traffic to them. Now, this is another thing that when I'm questioning people that are just getting started, they want to know how many lists they should be building and how many squeeze pages they need to have online. And the truth of the matter is you only need 1 or 2 squeeze pages. You want to try to work with one or two at first and just try to get them to they're converting at 30 to 40% with the traffic that you're sending. Once you have one or two that are performing like that, those are the two that you want to send your traffic to. Later down the road, after you've got your system set up and you're making consistent sales, you may want to go into another niche and add a different sales page or a squeeze page, I mean. But initially, you just want to concentrate on just having one or two that really convert at good 30 to 40% opt-in rates. Once you've achieved that, well, then that's you know that you can send traffic to those pages, and for every 100 visitors that come there to those pages, you're going to get 30 to 40 new opt-ins into your list. So that's the goal you should set: is not to have multiple squeeze pages out online. You want to have multiple sales pages, but only one or two squeeze pages. You want very few entry points into your sales funnel, but you want those entry points to be ones that convert well when you send good quality traffic to them. Now, when we talk about the sales pages, like I said, you initially want to start out with three, but you should really have a goal that once you have these three up online and you have one or two squeeze pages that are converting, you should have a goal of once a month to add a new product into your sales funnel. It's not hard, like I said, with everybody pretty much belonging to some PLR membership site somewhere or having access to resale rights through bonuses of other products that you buy. It's not hard to find one product a month that you can set up a sales page for every month. Once you set up that new page and you start getting your buyers list built, send out a broadcast each time you set up one of those new pages to tell your buyers about it so that you'll initially get a few sales right off the bat from that new page that you've launched. Add a new email into the freebie autoresponder sequence. You may want to space them out to where you know they're good 7 to 14 days away from each other. But add another email into that freebie autoresponder series. That way, after that 14 days, in about 7 to 14 more days, they're going to get another email from you about a new product that you put online. So you got another chance at maybe converting one of those freebie seekers over into your buyers list.